Hello, and welcome back to the Ygartua Art Chronicles podcast, where we explore the life and career of Paul Ygartua. I'm Ed Hoskin, and in this episode we discover what it was like to drive through southern Europe in a converted British van. We'll also be retracing James Bond's tracks in Albania, and hearing how Joanne ended up with a work of art on her backside. This time we're going to cover quite an exciting period between mid-72 and early 75, I think. So why don't we start with what happened immediately after the fantastic wedding in the UK?
Oh, we went back. We flew back this time, not by boat, and we went to Liverpool, straight to Liverpool.
3 weeks later.
3 weeks later.
3 weeks after the wedding.
Yeah. And then we proceeded then to buy a van, which was going to be our form of transport for the whole time we were there.
Right.
So the van we bought was a goods van with 6 wheels, two wheels on each side at the back.
Ooh.
And my father helped me renovate it with a oven, toilet, fridge, bed in the back. We did the whole renovation of it, which was really interesting because afterwards it didn't look like a camper. It just looked like a goods van. Yeah. Which was an absolute gem for travelling with, because we could live in the middle of a city or anywhere. So yes, we did that, and then we decided we'd take a dry run and hit England. So we went all around the coast, from Land's End, all the way up the coast through Wales, all the way to Scotland, to Edinburgh, and then down the other side.
And, we visited my mother's family.
And then
in Birmingham.
That's right.
And then Stratford-upon-Avon, we made a contact with the gallery there.
That's right. Made a contract with it was called the Stratford Gallery.
Yeah, Stratford Gallery.
And we were with him till he retired. I was actually just set up on the street doing some sketching, and he came along and said, "Wow, I like your drawings. I mean, would you like to put some in my gallery?" And so we were with him for a few years. That was interesting as well.
Wow.
Because often we would do that, like Paul would... let's say we're in a city or a resort town, and then, we're going to continue on, but maybe sketching, for a couple of days in that area. And then we see a gallery. We used to, go in with the portfolio. And
well, I always had a portfolio with a bunch of work in, so it was always...
sometimes just buying it, right? And that was it.
Wow, so a whole tour. So that's quite a big tour, isn't it? So a tour all the way around the coast from Land's End, all the way up through Wales and round past Liverpool, up through Scotland, the Lake District, all of that. In what, a couple of months or a month or something?
Yeah, I think it was 2 months.
I'm not sure that it was 2 months.
It might have been, because I don't think we headed to Greece until October, September.
Maybe a month now. Yeah, maybe.
No, I think it was 2.
Altogether, maybe, yeah. So then what happened then was we got back to Liverpool and decided to plan our trip across Europe towards Greece.
Well, we stopped, back to Liverpool to say goodbye to the family and pick up our steak and kidney pies.
So
they were really good.
Sainsbury's, they had this great steak and kidney pie in a tin.
So good.
So you could keep them unrefrigerated and then just throw them in the oven, and boy, they were
Indeed.
good.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
They were better than the ones you could make.
Indeed. We still have them, and I still, when I go back to the UK, I still...
I'm sure they do, yeah.
They're made by a Tyne brand or a Frey Bentos or something.
I think that was it.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Delicious, and they crisp up on the top. That was your first tour of all the sights and sounds and smells of the UK, Joanne. What was your impression of that?
For Joanne, that was the first time.
Well, for me, everything's fascinating because everything's new. Well, new to me, but with all the history of the old, the wonderful monumental buildings. In Canada, I was only familiar with buildings that were just put up, or we had a few of the older homes, which I always loved here, and then. Like now, they're just gone. So they preserve things. And for me, it's all an art form. So everything was interesting.
Roman cities. I mean, Glasgow, Chester, all these places.
Edinburgh was amazing.
Yeah, Edinburgh as well. But the Roman, I mean, we always say, without the Romans, Europe wouldn't have any architecture anymore.
1,000 years.
1,000-year-old architecture.
The Romans were building everywhere.
They went everywhere, yeah.
I mean, France depends on a lot of their wonderful sites, Roman built.
Orange has still got an amphitheatre there, which we went to.
And Chester, my gosh.
Yeah.
And Glasgow. I didn't realise that Glasgow was all Roman built as
Lots
well.
Lots of Roman, yeah.
Oh. And which is a school of art, a very well-known school of art, so you probably... Don't know whether you came across that in the time there, but yeah. Well, the UK is so...
through a friend,
the UK is so cram-packed. I mean, it's twice the density of people as
it's
France.
Hard to figure out how they get that much in one little island
there. Yeah, that's true.
And the accents, how the accents change, even an hour away, everything's different again.
Yeah.
And I always remember in London when I was, picking up a newspaper or something, and, I had to say this guy had quite a strong Cockney accent, and I might have said, oh, sorry again, and, excuse me, I'm speaking very good English here. Like what's wrong with all these foreigners?
Thinks they're speaking good English. It doesn't matter what kind they're speaking. There's 50 different dialects in England.
It's just the different accent.
Just travelling around. I mean, from Wales. I mean, that's the hard one to understand. The Welsh accent. Yeah. I mean, the Scottish accent's another one. Oh, my God.
Yeah. And they're so extremely different. They're not slightly different. They can be
very
completely...
Oh, yeah. You go from Devon to Cornwall, it's like chalk and cheese, the accents. from a coastal village in Devonshire somewhere, like in Ilfracombe, for instance, where I worked for a season, to Cornwall, where they're basically farmers are, strong in the arm, thick in the head,
I remember that.
Yeah, that guy's...
When we were hitchhiking, that was the first time round. And that's exactly what he said to us. And he was a pretty big guy.
Joanne said, "Where are you from?" He said, "Well, Cornwall." He said, "Strong in the arm, thick in the head." And we all both looked at each other and said, "Aye, aye."
Are we supposed to laugh now?
Or not.
Or not. Yeah. I loved Ilfracombe. Good for surfing.
Well, you worked there, did you?
I worked in Ilfracombe it was called the Runnacleaves Hotel. Right. Big hotel right on the front there. I worked in a couple of hotels. Wow. That's where I was doing tattoos on people.
Oh, when you were 15.
When I started, not painting, but tattooing. Yeah.
What?
I did one on myself to prove they weren't going to die.
You heard about that?
I was using Indian ink. Can you believe it? With a needle and cotton wrapped around the end of the needle. What? And then just popping your skin.
What?
And every time you did that, you get a little dot. Oh. So I did dots to make tattoos on people.
But you did get an infection, didn't you?
No, I stopped one. I was doing more tattoos. I've got 3 little ones. I was doing another one and it hit the vein.
Oh, God.
But what about the guy from Yorkshire?
Oh, this big guy.
That was the best one.
This big tough guy, a real sailor type.
Yeah.
Must have been about 300-pound guy. And he said, "Oh, I want you to do a tattoo on me." He said, "I'm from Yorkshire. Do a nice rose." So I did this beautiful rose. I mean, I did some nice-looking tattoos on people. Yeah. And then he said, "Well, I want you to write Yorkshire underneath." So I wrote Yorkshire.
You can't spell.
And he looks in the mirror afterwards. He says, "You spelled the bugger wrong."
He put Y-O-R-C-K.
Oh, no.
C-K-S-H-I-R-E.
Oh,
and
no.
I thought it looked a bit funny when I was doing it. And I said, "Oh, my God." And he said, "Don't worry," he said, "no one will ever mention it."
That's true.
Well, didn't you say you'd do another one?
I said, I'll do an eagle for free. So I did an eagle on his other arm for free. But he said, "Don't worry, no one will ever mention it." No one ever did. They wouldn't dare say anything to him. Right, yeah. He was a killer,
Yeah. Was this when you were in Ilfracombe doing that, or was it another time?
Yes, that's when I was working there at 15. Yeah, I was 15.
15. You were doing tattoos.
An art student.
I was doing tattoos. Yeah, I actually made good money doing it.
My God, that could have been...
in the hotel?
Yeah, I was doing it.
You could have been a tattoo
artist. This was a side thing.
In an ulterior...
I was by the way, can you imagine at 15, I was in all the pubs as well, even though you weren't supposed to be until you were 18. But because I was with this guy, no one ever asked me my age. Because I said to him, I said, "Oh, no, I better not go to a pub. I mean, I'm only 15. Yeah. He said, "You're with me, no one will even ask you." And he was right.
An alternate universe, you could have been a world-famous tattoo artist, Paul. You know?
Oh,
you
yeah,
never know.
of course.
Doing pointillism.
Sure.
You know.
Big money in that. There's big money in
These days,
all
it's
the
all come back.
Yeah, for sure.
We'd be in Thailand and.
But the way I was doing it was one dot at a time. Can you imagine?
Yeah,
it used to take me hours to do a tattoo.
So, getting back to back to Liverpool, and you decided. It sounds like you'd already decided that this trip was going to happen. Had you pre-planned this somewhat in Canada?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure, probably.
We planned on spending the winter in Greece, so yes.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how we came up with that one, but
as far away from Liverpool as possible.
Well, I guess we're looking for some place that would be warm.
Good weather, yeah.
Always it is true that we're always looking at resorts, places where there'd be tourists, because we were making our living only from Paul's art. So we did ship works back as well to the Apollo Gallery and Victor at the time. But of course, what were we going to do in Europe? So thinking of, either famous resorts, resorts that were very popular. So for sure, there would be galleries.
Follow the money.
People. Yeah, they're looking where the money is.
Yeah.
So sure, I think, and a change from, I guess the idea we'd be going to Greece and then later we're going back into Spain again. But first Greece, yeah.
So we headed across Europe through Switzerland, Italy, and into Yugoslavia. And then we headed...
through Albania.
Then we went to Albania. And I didn't know, I had no idea, right, that, in those days you needed passports to get in and out of every country. There was no free ride. You couldn't just drive through. And anyway, we drove along and I'm looking at the map and I'm thinking...
Just a map.
The quickest way to Greece is going to be through Albania. So we just we start driving. And the next thing I know is we sort of passed this, looked like soldiers sitting at the side of the road. And they all looked at us and we looked at them and just carried on. Because we weren't a camper, so they probably thought we were just a goods vehicle. And they didn't stop us. And the next thing I know is these kids are throwing rocks at us.
Well, we stopped to get, I don't know, some food or something.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a restaurant, maybe just to get some drinks or something. I mean, we already had the van loaded up, but maybe we needed water or something. And these kids, when we came out of the shop, they were throwing rocks at us.
They were trying to take the number plate off the car.
Yeah, they were trying to steal our license.
The number plate.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, what the hell's going on?
And we thought, just kids.
Well, obviously we're the first foreign vehicle
we didn't
to
know
enter the country, I think.
At the time, we're not aware of anything. We were the only foreigners.
Tourists, there wasn't really a place where you could sort of go on a holiday to in those days.
Yeah. This was not sort of any town anybody want to go through.
No,
it looked rough, but there was nobody hardly there.
No, it was a shanty town type of place. Anyway, then I carried on, and I thought, well, okay, we're gonna have to go over the mountains, which is just the straight route, straight across, So I got on this road.
And just a sec, though. Like, first of all, I don't drive. I can't read a map, and I believe he knows how to drive, excellent driver, and he knows where he's got a good sense of direction.
She never argued with me in those days.
So not about that. I'd say, okay, Paul, if you think that's the best route, obviously we do it. Yeah.
So we head on this road, which is a mountain road, dirt road, and we're driving along, and of course it's getting narrower and narrower and higher, and there's potholes and everything, and a ravine that dropped about 300 or 400 feet.
And it's getting darker and darker.
With no barriers, and it's getting darker and darker, and my headlights started to just shine into space.
Oh my God.
As we went round the bend, the light would just disappear into nothing. So Joanne was freaking out. She lay on the floor.
No, I was on the floor in the back screeching.
Damn it, she couldn't look
out
the window.
I was...
And of course we bumped, we met a couple of cars, and of course we had to back up.
Oh my God.
There's no room for two cars to even pass. So
this is like, what, a 1,400-foot ravine?
Oh, it was unbelievable.
It was just... Hey, I don't know if you saw the Daniel Craig...
one of James Bond's was on a road. I think it was the same route.
That was the same route.
Really?
They went from Montenegro, I think.